22nd day of Shevat is the day that the Rebbe's wife, the Rabbi Chaim Hanoka, passed away in 1988. Although I didn't know the Rebbetzin personally, she was a very private person, but yet still in all sort of, you might even say, the steam in the engine that basically kept the Rebbe going. To a large degree, were it not for the Rebbetzin, the Rebbe would not have been our Rebbe. First and foremost, her father was the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. And as I understand it, behind the scenes, she was, to a large degree, the driving force of what the Rebbe said and the Rebbe's success and the like. From what I do know of her, this is again through stories of others, some of the people who told the stories I happen to know personally, those who had a personal relationship with her, which were a select families and their children and the like. She was a very extremely bright person, very, very smart, but beyond that, a very caring person. So for example, if a family was coming with their kids to visit the Rebbe and they were invited to come, she would often have toys for these kids, or she would buy them toys. There's one family in particular, I know she bought one of the sons like a Mr. Potato Head. That was the toy back in the day in the 80s, and something that was more germane to the girl, to the daughter, for her to play with. You think, what does the Rebbe to know from Mr. Potato Head? Well, apparently she knew what toys to buy that were appropriate, age appropriate for the kids. How she knew or didn't know, I don't know. The Rebbe and the Rebbetzin were not blessed with any biological children for whatever reason it may be, but she certainly understood the psyche of the human being, and in this case, the children as well. And it wasn't just children, it was adults, it was young adults, young men, young women. She had an amazing insight into life and to how to approach life for people around the world. The Rebbe, when she passed away, I was actually in Miami in Yeshiva at the time. We flew in for the funeral. And as I understand it, the Rebbe, Rabbi Groner, was one of the Rebbe's personal secretaries, sort of asked the Rebbe, like, now what? The Rebbe pointed to a quote from the Talmud in the Tractate of Sanhedrin. Basically says that when a man's wife dies, it's like, darkness has descended upon him. It's not a direct quote, but that's the gist of it. It was hard to foresee how things would continue on because the Rebbetzin had such a strong presence in the Rebbe's life, although it was done behind closed doors. But still in all, the Rebbe was emphatic shortly after her passing to fulfill the words of Chayit and Alibai, and that her life should give to your heart. In other words, that we should continue on living who she was by, first and foremost, founding new institutions in her memory and various other campaigns. And to this day, it continues on. This is 35 years later, right? 36 years later, somewhere around there. And these institutions are in her memory, in her name, are all over the world and flourishing. Not to mention the probably tens of thousands of Chabad Chaim Mushkas that exist around the world that are named for the Rebbetzin. And it's a tremendous testament as to who she was. And we have to do our utmost to continue on living the legacy that she lived.